Welcome to AI for the Normal Guy. Today is June 16th. I believe it's a Tuesday. I'm joined as always by Shane Spencer, AI vibe coder at large at Lovable, and senior software engineer and author Lauren Winsler.
That's true.
It's true. Published author. And then myself, I'm Phil Ibarra-Laza. I kind of bring the normal guy to AI and the normal guy. And today we're going to talk about mostly Anthropic. We might touch on one or two other things, but there was big news that happened at the end of last week and over the weekend regarding shutting down Anthropic under the guise of a warning from the government about the Export Control Reform Act.
Well, they didn't shut down all of Anthropic.
Did I just say that?
They just said Fable 5 and Mythos 5 cannot be used by foreign nationals. You have to be a U.S. citizen, correct?
That's what it said.
And Anthropic said, well, we don't know how. We don't know where our users are citizenship-wise, so we'll just cut it off for everybody.
Yeah, they said we can't police citizenship.
Yeah. I mean, from a privacy perspective, I think theoretically there's maybe ways of doing it, but I mean,
legal
not immediately. Right? I mean, it would take some time of implementing a feature or something like that to do that.
Nonsense.
But I think they also want to fight it too. So they basically said, okay, well, we can't, we can't offer Fable 5 to non-U.S. citizens, then we're just going to cut it off for everybody. So they pulled access in mid-afternoon or early evening on Friday.
Evening. Yeah, like so 4 or 5 o'clock. I got cut off in like around 5:30, somewhere around there.
So Shane, tell us, you were actually using was it Fable 5 at the time?
Yeah, I was actively using Fable 5 like ultra code, like very expensive to run, but I was made some good breakthroughs over a couple projects. I had hit some hurdles in. And then I just saw somebody pinged me about the notice, and I got some last couple prompts in there. And the last prompt I sent was gave it the news and told it to review the news and come back with its take in a first person view of its take on this news and all that.
Well, I'm curious. Good. So you heard from somebody, right, who sent you a text that it was coming down. Mm-hmm. How was the notice? Did you receive anything official from Claude Code or whatever you were using?
It was posted on Anthropic's blog page or documents, news page.
Did it come up? In other words, like, what's the literal? How did it come up? Did that model disappear from your?
Oh, when it came off, it just errored out eventually.
Errored out,
and it just said, failed to reach. And then eventually they updated the UI to say, or they put the warning in there. Fable is currently not available. So it was interesting.
So the interesting questions are, and this is the first time anything like this has happened, and it's not actually in a vacuum, because there's a letter, I believe, that went out on June 3rd. In addition to a post on his personal website by Dario that was calling for more AI regulation. Mm-hmm. The letter that went out was specific to genetically engineered DNA, and it was co-signed by Sam Altman and others. And then Dario went into a lengthy blog post on his personal website about how kind of he sees the future of AI and AI's integration into society and politics and government and all that. And then this happened, a week later?
Yeah, and nobody really knows exactly why. There's a lot of rumor. And
that's the thing. So and we've all done a little research here, and we try to get our facts straight. If we get anything wrong, anybody please let us know. But I don't believe the government gave a specific reason other than the Export Control Reform Act cannot be policed for the latest model.
The only thing official was the foreign nationals.
Well, there was the jailbreak by
Pliny the Liberator. I'm sure there are probably
so
others.
Couple
Review
issues.
Reveal the jailbreak first, because I think the jailbreak and the news of the jailbreak kind of.
We talked about it on our last meeting because it was jailbroken the second day or like within 24 hours.
I don't know. I don't know that is specifically like. I think they got information related to, circumventing the safety measures. So they put safety measures that basically, anytime you ask about chemical related stuff or biology related stuff, it would just sort of like downgrade you to the Opus model, Opus 4.8. And this was kind of a problem if you're going to use this model in kind of a production environment that's doing something that is like safe and good, like drug discovery
I think
or something.
You'd apply to get access to the unguardrailed
The
version.
unguardrailed
Mythos. I
version.
think that's the angle they were
That's
going
the
for.
angle, yeah. So I guess
Makes
you could
sense.
get around it and apply to get access to Mythos 5 or something.
Right. And
So
get
Mythos
a little
5
extra
would be the
cheddar for that,
unguard,
maybe.
yeah.
I think this episode will probably not. Well, I mean, it'll probably age fine, but I think we're going to find they'll eventually, I assume, share a little more about what happened. But it was probably some big security vulnerability that it found in a major company or in government.
I don't know, man. It could be as simple as somebody's assistant saw the jailbreak thing and went, "Hey, boss," because
non-technicals being like, "Oh my god."
Non-technicals. There's a lot of So if we're talking about the United States government, and in particular, without getting too deep, expertise is sort of lacking in government right now.
I think you're underselling the Department of AI or whatnot that they've got. And when they shut down when Anthropic first announced Mythos, and I'm certain that the U.S. government's working with Mythos and has been since it was available, and maybe before they even made it publicly available. There's absolutely no way they don't. And maybe they didn't give a full green light on this, or who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe somebody in higher up told somebody else higher up, and they're like, fine, made a post.
I mean, yeah, let's be honest. Like, over half of the Senate, they don't even know how to use email. Email to them is a piece of paper their assistant hands them. So somebody hears that AI's gotten out, would be enough for some of these seniors to freak out and think that robots are going to come for their medicine.
It's possible.
Is that too much? Yeah, it could be that, or it could be an expert who was working with it, found that. But see, that's the other problem, is that, let's say the government has access to Mythos, right? Everybody else doesn't. If it were a Mythos-related problem, it wouldn't be a problem because theoretically only they would have access to it. In other words, true or false, it would have to come from the public model. Whatever scared somebody would have to come from the public model, because the idea being that the private models were contained.
Makes sense.
And the Export Control Act would pertain to the public models,
I think,
because the private models were already internally regulated. Fair enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
So the government folks using Mythos wouldn't be part of the equation.
But they shut them both down. Well, as far as we know.
Oh, the government's still Mythos. I guarantee you.
So, yeah, Anthropic still.
They're playing Mythos poker right now.
I probably.
I kind of threw Lauren for a loop there.
I don't know. I just think it's interesting. My opinion is that it feels very political, and I think Anthropic has picked a fight with the government, and now they're getting.
Give a little context. Back up before you go there. Give a little background.
They have a history this year. So earlier this year, they did not want the Department of Defense, the Department of War. This is shortly after the beginning of the Iran war.
Mm-hmm.
They said, no, you can't use the models for automated weapons or automated
targeting,
right?
Yeah.
We want a human in the loop. And the Department of War says you can't put that restriction on us. We don't want
Tell us
that.
what
Right?
we can use your.
Don't
Yeah.
tell us that. Yeah. So they after some teeth grinding and so on, they slapped the supply chain risk classification, which basically means that anyone that sells to someone that sells to someone that sells to the government, basically, if you're in the supply chain and you're using Anthropic, you're no longer compliant. In other words, if you're going to sell to the government, you can't use Anthropic, which is just crazy. And I thought that would blow over, and it's still in effect, but there's a lawsuit, Anthropic sued to say this isn't legal. And I think they'll probably win the lawsuit. That would be my take. But
So in the
depends on
interim,
where it gets decided. But
so in the interim, everybody's got to hide their use of Claude because they're using it.
Well, I mean, it's the best one out there.
I don't know. If you're a subcontractor, I suppose you would not use Claude Code.
I think,
but they got so much uptick in business after that because everyone took to their side. I mean, so many people piled in and started using Anthropic that they had a hard time keeping their system up.
how many people left, canceled their OpenAI subscriptions after Sammy Boy jumped in there with the government?
We'll do it.
You guys are awesome. You know that? I'm so much more cynical than you guys. And that is if the best model was made by, Hitler's ghost, everybody be lined up around the street to get that model,
I think that it's certainly political. So no matter what, it's certainly political. I'm also I'm seeing a lot of mention of people going, well, Anthropic's right around the corner from doing an IPO of their own right. They've already created precedent, or they've created a system for people to hype this model for the last month and a half or however long it's been. They've got that demand. They let you have a taste. They pulled back, and they're like, just wait to see when they launch, which government officials just make a heap ton of extra cash in the connections, through some seedy stuff.
How dare you?
I mean, I'm sure it would never happen, allegedly.
I mean, don't forget right now that we've got major government contracts with SpaceX /XAI. So
Slash the new owner of Cursor.
/new owner of Cursor, who are pretty, let's just say they're tight with the current administration in government. I mean, we could go back and look at Doge and how much XAI has harvested data out of government databases, et cetera. And they're safe to say they're in direct competition with Anthropic, right?
Well,
Lawrence,
Anthropic
there's no
cut
way.
him off.
It's not a fair fight. Claude versus Grok.
Grok's got more money.
Let's stay focused here. Trying to pull me into the Grok bashing thing.
I do.
Again.
When I need Grok bashing, I go to you. So right now, the current status is Fable 5, Mythos 5, which there were certain private clients. Would that be a way to describe it? They're not accessible for use.
I'm not sure how much Mythos 5 was released outside of that Project Glasswing, which was the cybersecurity pilot program. So a lot of companies had access to it. Did Mythos 5 get released privately to other customers? I'm not sure on that.
And released, let's be clear, because I'm the normal guy, so I don't quite understand these things. So by released in the old days used to mean you got a new disk for Windows, right? So in context for a new AI model being released, it's not the actual code, it's not the actual software. It's access through cloud to use that software, right?
Correct.
Like in other words, they release Mythos, they roll it back. It doesn't mean everybody is running around with their own copy of Mythos.
Correct.
I think that's an important point.
Yeah.
Well, obvious to you, homie.
No, it's a very valid question.
Right.
One of the most commonly downloaded things on the Pirate Bay right now is some 4 terabyte Fable project that's obviously not actually the Fable project, but somebody's scamming a lot of people.
It's probably you know.
I think there was a video game named Fable something.
Yeah.
It's not that, but yeah, there's a new one coming out soon, actually.
Peter Molyneux, genius. Okay. So to cover that point, so the model's inaccessible, and Anthropic has filed a lawsuit, and they're saying that they didn't do anything wrong, that their model is not dangerous, and they're trying to get a certain specific incident. They're trying to request, like, what triggered this action. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no single thing anybody's pointing to in the government or otherwise.
Correct. And there's no official updates on Anthropic's site since the share of the government message to them.
So we don't know why it was pulled.
We sure don't.
Well, we know why it was pulled, because Anthropic couldn't monitor it, but we don't know what the government's beef with it was. I mean, there's rumors of, like, Amazon, their security team had used it, or they called up the government and said, hey, this is too strong. Everybody loves saying their stuff is too strong, you know?
I think that's an important point, you know, and it feeds into this, like, political aspect to it. So they got in a fight with the government, and they've kind of been at this contentious, you know, it definitely feels like Sam Altman and OpenAI are more in bed with the administration and the people that are part of the administration. So the former AI czar, what's his name, David Sachs, was always very down on Anthropic and all their frou-frou verbiage and what's the better way of saying it? Definitely, it almost feels like he's an OpenAI shareholder and not in Anthropic. It feels like he's talking his own book. I don't know anything about that.
Is he still the AI czar?
I think his period might have expired. Who's
the guy?
You can only work for the government for like a year or something like that without going through the whole
confirmation
process or whatever. So I think he might have
whatever.
only been there for a year or so.
Yeah, Elon was gaming that out for a while. They were trying to stretch it as long as they could. So who's in charge? Like, if I'm in the government, if I'm in the current administration in the White House, in the executive branch, and, like, I need to talk to a guy to make a decision on AI, like, who's the guy?
I'm not certain
Who's the secretary of AI? The AI czar.
I have no idea now.
If you want,
they did start.
we'll cut
like
this out. But if you want Minnesotan shot, you know, you call Stephen Miller. So we'll take that. No, but if you have a question about AI, like, who do they call? Who gets summoned into the Oval Office to tell us about, you know, what's going on with this thing?
I don't know, the Treasury Secretary.
Who's the Jack Ryan of?
I think anyone that has the president's ear is probably a good bet. So.
No, but who's our expert? Who's our Jack Ryan on AI? Right? Who's the analyst?
Let's find out.
You said the czar is David Sachs.
Previously, I don't think he's.
Did he have a title? Was it czar?
He was the crypto and AI czar. I don't know if czar is the word they use technically.
I like that word now.
Sounds very.
Those are two things I want combined
It
together.
does, right? Feels very.
It's not the czars weren't communists; they were a monarchy.
Well, it still sounds like it, though.
It sounds like
it's anything Russian.
dictator-y.
Anything Russian is authoritarian.
Michael Kratsios, Director of White House Office of Science and Technology.
Can we get a
OSTP?
Michael what?
KRATSIOS.
iOS and
then David Sachs is the other one. Oh, he is the OSTP.
OSTP.
Yeah.
Nice. No idea what that means.
But is he still actively? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Can you find out what Mike's background is?
Who?
Mike.
Michael Kratsios. Oh, yeah. Director of White House Office of Science and Technology Policy and the President of Science and Tech. He co-chains PCAST and is the most senior standing tech policy official in government. PCAST President.
I'm hoping he's got a degree in something somewhere.
PCAST, President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. That's is that the new department they made? The cabinet offices.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of people on that. I think Pee Wee Herman might even be on that.
Yeah, he might be. Weird.
And
There's no,
Kid
like,
Rock's
official-
on that, right?
Oh God.
No, I'm just saying. What's Michael Kratzis? What's his background? Was he a professor at MIT, or you know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Let's ask, because it didn't say. Should be able to pull that up pretty easily. Let me check his LinkedIn.
And don't worry about the time gaps. I can pull this out.
Okay.
I'm going to get all the edgy politics stuff out. I promise. It's,
What are you talking about? Okay,
but
so
I'm curious too if
Peter Thiel's.
Mr. Mike has any history with Anthropic or Anthropic adjacent. I mean, the worlds are small, that these people run in.
He's a Thiel World finance and policy guy, not a technologist. He grew up in Columbus. Blah, blah, blah. Where's his government track?
There you go. He's a finance guy.
Mm-hmm. He joined Trump in 2017 as the deputy CTO, and then interesting.
So he's not the AI guy. We're going to find the AI,
But I think
guy.
he's the one who runs PCAST, I guess.
The AI guy probably reports to him, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm looking at you, Winsler.
The only other
I
people
don't know.
You got the
mentioned-
biggest laptop.
nobody cares. I don't know.
No.
I honestly don't know.
Doesn't sound like there's an easily credible
My
person.
point is somebody dropped the hammer and pulled the fire alarm and said, shut down Fable 5 and Mythos. Like, who's the science guy that said, hey, maybe we should, like,
yeah.
I mean, they could just say
We should-
Dario said it himself, so we're just doing what he
Look,
asked.
The thing is nobody's ever going to say who made that call, because there's going to be like people with pitchforks and torches coming at him. Everybody I know is like losing their mind.
Well-
Like, I had it for 2 days.
Okay, well,
I'm like ready to go out there and riot.
don't forget a lot of the normies
Allegedly.
kind of politically, going back to Lauren's political theory, a lot of the normies are okay with it. I mean, somebody, the general public seems to be pretty comfortable with the idea of slowing things down a little bit.
They're comfortable with the AI being exclusive to the government and not to every end user, every Joe Schmo. I mean, it
That's
is a
what they're-
troubling thing. In other words,
Yeah.
from the point that ChatGPT was released and all these other model companies came out,
I got some.
you had access to the top frontier models as they were released. It wasn't like the government got it and then a year later the consumers got it. And what's troubling to some extent is if this sticks, if Anthropic is not able to release their most advanced model where Shane and I can access it
As a
and
private
you can
company,
access
as a
it
private company,
as a private company, as a private individual, right? The most advanced models for us are going to be open source Chinese models. So
I better not
chew
let
on
that
that
happen.
for a
Did
bit.
you just deep seek? Yeah, I mean, I will chew on
Kimi,
that.
yeah. No, I mean, there's DeepSeek's maybe a little behind now, but Kimi is. DeepSeek was big with reasoning. They were like the first to really have a great reasoning model, but I think they've fallen behind a little bit. But Kimi, Kimi, right?
Manus was the first to really do truly good computer use, and they all just piggyback off of each other.
That's a whole nother story. If you look up
I know.
Manus, the whole Facebook acquisition,
They're getting
and China is trying to unwind it. So
I'll give you a little answer.
different episode.
So who's
Shane's
the
onto something.
actual
Yeah.
AI guy? And Claude goes, honestly, that's the kind of a joke. There isn't an AI guy in the sense of deep tech and AI with the government. There is a chief AI officer named Gregory Basia. It's the first federal chief AI officer.
Oh.
And so you
A lot of Cornhuskers there in the AI,
his background,
AI department.
Army intelligence analysis.
Okay.
And then
I feel a
there's
little bit better.
The loudest voice is David Sachs, and and then Krasios that I told you before. So this guy, I guess, worth looking into. Gregory Barbasia, or however you say his name. But who knows?
Who knows? That sounds close, though. That sounds like a job, like the AI guy.
Sure.
And in all seriousness, what I'm referring to is basically like the CTO, right?
Who's that government CTO?
From a regulation perspective, I don't think there is such a thing.
But at the government, at the chief level, right, the department level, there should be somebody.
I mean, it's fallen under this law in this. I guess it's a bureaucracy that regulates exports of like weapons grade type technology, like cryptography, right?
I would imagine like targeting
if you're exporting weapons, if you're exporting cryptography, is the main type of software or network device that used to fall into this. I mean, NVIDIA chips have had some export controls on them too, although they've successfully gotten some of that lifted to the point that they sell NVIDIA chips to China with some strings attached. Yeah, I don't know what the current state on that is, but so whether those individuals making those policies are really super technical, I don't think it really matters. I think. Well,
the thing that bothers me is you have uneducated people deciding what's safe and what's not safe. That's my beef.
Nah, they all have ChatGPT. They all have Claude. They all have Grok. We're good.
Most of these guys don't even use computers.
Oh,
so
not these guys.
They're admins and assistants and so forth. Their aides do. So if you're a congressional aide, you're young, hip, out of college, you're definitely computer savvy. So anyway, let's
yes. There's another angle I want to cover as well.
I want to circle back to like what happened before the Fable 5 ban, and you mentioned it, which was this blog post. It's on Dario's personal website as well as Anthropic site as well as on Twitter. You can download a almost 20 page PDF of this essay and so forth. So, but there's a lot of quotes that if you pull out, are pretty crazy. Where he's essentially in the title of the article.
Actually,
by the way,
I'm gonna cut you off just for 1 second because I want that to have its whole segment. And so there's just one other fact I want to get out too, and that is that other governments, not the United States, our allies, are also cut off from Fable 5 and these other models, and they're pissed. And they're also seeing us not as a reliable sharer of technology. So that's something to keep in mind, that they're thinking of starting their own programs and not using ours. So going back to Dario in his blog post.
Sure. So the post was called, or the essay is called Policy on AI Exponential. And it's kind of about government regulation. And there's a lot of quotes that you can pull out.
But it's like a brain dump from Dario, like his internal thoughts.
I think it's somewhat well thought out, right? I mean,
like Jerry Maguire's mission statement sort of thing?
Something like that. I think it might have been a little more thought put into it than just writing it and printing it up at the copy mat overnight. So
go ahead.
So one of the interesting, how would you regulate? Like, what's an example of a technology or something that you regulate for public safety, right? Well, airlines, right? The FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, regulates Boeing and Airbus and so forth, regulates the actual airline. So there's a pull-out quote here. I therefore believe we should model AI regulation on agencies like the FAA. Frontier AI models like airplanes should be required to go through technical testing and auditing, and the release should be blocked or reversed as a threat to public safety if they do not meet high standards of safety. So think about the context of that statement. They should be blocked, right? You could stop reading right there and be like, why did they get blocked? Well, they said block me if I'm
block me.
Somebody block me, right? So they literally asked for it, right? So
But this isn't that. But I see your point.
What do you mean it's not that? They're literally out there campaigning for regulation, and then they get regulated.
Yeah, but ginning up some nonsense about some other thing without citing a reason isn't. Maybe they thought that was their only tool to effectively put the brakes on it. I mean, they could have done this with a letter, though. They could have just said, "Hey, guys."
What are they going to do? How else would the government do anything? They don't have a tool to regulate, except to
They could
do
ask.
export. They didn't say that you and I can't use the model anymore. They said non-U.S. citizens, foreign nationals can't.
I would hope that they're smart enough to know what the effect of that would be.
I have this like fun thought run through my head in my creative mind that's like this moment where the U.S. government pulls off no fable for non-U.S. citizens, like that spirals to where it turns into no U.S. AI for anybody else, and then everybody else starts following suit, and then every country has their own AI, and then the years tumble, and then we all have our own, every nation has their own super intelligence, and it's a really good premise for a sci-fi book.
That sounds like a healthy world to me.
Oh, yes.
Competitive AIs. Sweet Jesus.
So instead of sending our young men to war, we'll just have our computers compete in the cloud.
No, our computers will send the young
We'll
men
just
to
cancel
war.
the Olympics, and the AI will compete with other nations. So I like that idea. That's a good book idea, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that could be like
If only we knew who could co-author a book.
who's that weird guy that wrote The Martian and that other
No,
one? We need someone like that.
Shane's already cooking up an agent in his head to go out and start that book. Yeah, but it's interesting. So obviously, I guess they could make some sort of citizenship test to use the AI.
Oh, it's just KYC.
Know your customer, banking regulation.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that I find a little off about this is that this was not, hey, Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, like everybody. Everybody, we're going to start talking about export controls and non-citizens using these tools, but it wasn't. It was you.
I mean, one of the things that people started realizing was that the foreign nationals working at the model company at Anthropic were no longer allowed to use their product.
You're talking about HB1 people working on the product in the building.
Maybe they're on H-1B visa, maybe they're on a green card that allows them to work, or there's other visas. I'm not a visa expert, but there's
are they
non-green card, non-permanent resident.
California-based Anthropic? Where's the office?
They are San Francisco-based.
Yeah, San Francisco. So people working in San Francisco, they're like...
Suddenly they can't use Fable 5.
Yeah, Mikkel, sorry, you're,
There was a big event going on in SF, a Fable building event. Big names were going to be there, and they had to cancel it because it was going to be Friday evening. I know somebody who flew out from New York to go do it. And they changed the event to use 4.8, and like a bunch of speakers canceled.
Yeah.
And he's like, so now I'm just in the city going like, what the hell do I do?
Hey, it's a good city.
So they didn't feel that it was good to continue. They continued with the event, but it was sort of muted.
Yep.
It's like, we're going to use the old model.
Everyone's going to have unlimited Fable for the whole evening to go hard on it for some building thing.
So you brought up another interesting point too. What does this say about Dario as the steering the ship down there at Anthropic?
Well, I've heard
because it doesn't look good that he's calling for regulation and that their biggest product release to date gets pushed, basically, pulled back because the government got mad at them.
If you read everything that Anthropic puts out, they are a little bit high on their own supply, right? They're definitely, they believe the model is alive, right? They definitely, if you read all the release notes and every kind of everything they publish about every new model, there's a lot of interesting they have a lot of interesting takes. So they're definitely out there as far as believing that they've created digital God or something, digital Jesus. And
I mean, I'm partially cynical that that's again, like, our stuff's way too strong, you know?
I feel like the people backing that company have sort of already put up with it. But part of me thinks, if I'm a recent investor and there's an IPO coming and I was going to make some money, maybe this guy that keeps, impacting revenue negatively, right?
Negatively impacting
and
revenue.
maybe there hasn't been a huge impact in revenue. I mean, how many people have canceled
I'll
or
tell you,
not
it
used the
seems to be the
product?
opposite. So during this whole thing we've been discussing, during that whole time, Anthropic, I don't know by whatever measurement, has
still crushing it, right?
has jumped past OpenAI.
Yeah. So, some people would be like, oh, you keep shooting yourself in the foot, right? We need a different CEO. So part of me thinks that that's a likelihood, but at the same time, I think the investors have sort of bought into this guy. Like, if they were to abandon the CEO at this stage in the game because he's doing the same thing he's been doing the whole time, which is, talking about how dangerous AI is and being very pro-regulation. If you think about it, the opposite of that is what got Sam Altman fired for a couple of days or a week or whatever, going back like 3 years ago.
I don't know. There's a lot of that got Sam.
They cited his lack of trustworthiness, but also wanting to slow down OpenAI, and they thought OpenAI didn't have guardrails and was not, and it was still a nonprofit at that point. It was
They were being a little fast and loose.
still
with
an
the
organization that was meant. So the board of that was very much not a business board, and they canned Altman for a brief time and then brought him back.
That's crazy.
But the opposite of that is Anthropic, who's always had this sort of we're going to police ourselves and we're going to advocate for regulation.
You and I talked about this 8 months ago. That whether or not it was regulatory capture and that they were trying to
are they trying to slow everyone down? Someone could argue that when they started advocating for a pause, which Anthropic was advocating for a pause to slow down innovation before it gets out of control. But it's just, if you come out and say our model is so dangerous, right? It's like a technology that's akin to nuclear weapons. Don't be surprised when the government says, "Oh, hang on a minute, maybe we shouldn't give that to foreign nationals."
right.
And they're going to start developing chemical weapons and other things using that model. So,
Because my best guess is that when it was jailbroken and people showed it how to make shitty meth or used the Fable model, I'm assuming it's shitty meth. I didn't try the meth. That was kind of the trigger for the whole
next
thing.
episode, we'll cook meth.
We'll cook meth with the Fable 5 recipe. Did they release the recipe or it was blurred out?
I think it was just the top portion of the screenshot.
Okay.
The person that jailbroke it and got it to start talking about chemistry.
Right.
So
And chemistry was the concern. Bioweapons
and cyber.
and cyber.
Cybersecurity, hacking.
So let's back up a little bit. Going back before the ban, before the release of Mythos, there was a little Mythos fear because somebody had tested it on something and it found a bunch of vulnerabilities, or what was that? We should probably mention that.
Across the old open source projects, across what was
What are the-
old code. What was that program? It was, wow.
So they took a version of Mythos and tested it against to try to find vulnerabilities.
Yeah, and I found like very obscure ones to jailbreak or break into. But damn it, it's a very, very common popular platform, something
WordPress.
Yahoo or Word. Yeah.
So the one that got the most play was OpenBSD. So a blend of part of the original like Berkeley. What is it? Berkeley Software Development is BSD, which was the old pre-Linux flavor of Unix and so forth. So a lot of like core networking products still use OpenBSD as part of the networking stack because it's very performant. So I think they found a vulnerability that was like 25 or 27 years old that would allow them to remote access crash servers by just sending a few network packets to that device and be bam, bam.
So this, what we're talking about, this was before the release of Fable 5 and Mythos 5. There was a test. Don't know the details about the test, but so in a sense, they kind of proved their own point too. That
it wasn't so much a test as they were using it internally and spending a ton of tokens and a ton of money internally testing its capabilities for cyber security and auditing and finding hacks and so forth.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because it's kind of an important point that we forgot to touch on first, is that actually the release of Fable 5 and Mythos was delayed because of that test, right?
Yep. It was OpenBSD, FreeBSD, and then FFmpeg, which was one everyone was grateful for because it fixed something.
Oh, good God.
It was old school stuff. It's just been sitting there forever.
But it delayed the release of the product as well.
Oh, yeah, by a long shot.
They basically said, we're going to provide Mythos 5 to all these chosen companies. We're going to provide it to the government and go secure your products, right? Go run it on Windows and so forth. Have you noticed that the number of security updates on Windows in the last month? I think they're... Talk about something else. I'll look it up really quick. But I think that Microsoft released a ton of updates, and it's related to the Mythos,
Right. Interesting. I mean, that seems kind of important. We should have probably started with that.
Yeah, that was where it all started.
But yeah, it was because it wasn't a vacuum. It's not like the government. I mean, it kind of. I hate to make the case for the government, but it sounds more and more reasonable the more we talk about it, from the standpoint of they tested it, it was dangerous, they gave it away, they gave it to certain players to try to harden infrastructure prior to release.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't,
The CEO
and they
was
just released the most powerful AI model out to the public, and all these companies were just getting bricked over and over and over again. My theory is still that some of these big companies didn't use it well enough, or some other companies they didn't give it to were getting targeted and attacked by it. I think there was a massive amount of people using it, whether it was jailbroken versions of it or somehow to bypass security from other places or to break things, hurt things, and they just aren't publicly disclosing it because they don't want to share that vulnerability out there.
I mean, that's plausible.
Yeah, that happens.
There's something a little bit more going on that they were able to jailbreak it and actually use it. But here you're talking about the Microsoft thing. I mean, here's some statistics. May 2026, Microsoft addressed 120 to 137 vulnerabilities with a heavy focus on elevated privilege and remote code execution. But then in June 2026, I guess there's something called Patch Tuesday. I haven't run Windows regularly for a while. Microsoft issued fixes for a record-breaking 200 plus vulnerabilities, including 33 rated critical and 6 zero-day flaws across Windows, Hyper-V, and Exchange Server.
Wow, 0 days.
So, and these companies
Fable.
probably need more
back
time, right?
Back up. So we're talking about from May to June, right? Did you say May or March?
That's May and then June as far as the number of security updates for Windows.
And what was the number in May?
The stats here are 120 to 137. I don't know how they're giving a range.
And then June was what?
200 plus.
And
2 plus.
April was when the first security vulnerabilities with Mythos were discovered, or Glasswing.
Yeah.
It's that's fast. Either way.
But to think a company like this says, okay, we're going to participate in this. They've got to dedicate individuals to like a spin up a project and pull people off other work and start, how do we get all the code in one place and start, we're going to put it into Mythos and have it chew away and find vulnerabilities and so forth.
Which, by the way, just stepping back as going back to the normie role,
Yeah.
it's wild to think that Microsoft would use basically somebody else's product to check their own vulnerabilities, right? And
Yes.
that company would give that to them too. I mean, I appreciate the cooperation, but
It's good.
it's not. It sounds like Coors, like Budweiser, see how they make
I think
their
they
beer.
realized that if you released the Windows code, nobody'd be able to make sense of it anyway. So
I think, yeah. I mean, it's like they're doing that as partially a curb from the liability if they didn't, when all these companies go, you sons of... Are you
That's funny.
serious?
And the
Like,
power plants catch on
they're
fire.
like, we
and,
offered it. We put it up.
Yeah.
Any major company that wants,
so it's a
anybody-
business decision.
Yeah, it's security for them. I definitely think we end our predictions today with when is Fable coming back? I want to keep that. What's the poly market on that right now?
What is the poly market?
is there?
Oh yeah, it's massive. There's a lot of money invested. Current predictions is
Which
July
one's better,
1st.
poly market or Cauchy?
July 1st.
But there are lots of other lower percentages. June 16th, only 2%. That would be today. I don't think it's coming back today. Damn, that's a big...
But I'm just kind of bummed that the end user has always had access to these top models if you'd pay enough.
If only we knew
And
somebody who said Friday that they felt like they were just going to take it away.
I was right there. If only I could have friggin'... Ay.
No, it was Lauren. Lauren was like,
Well, we were talking about using AI in the context of like you stay up late and you're kind of like working 20 hours a day.
right.
Like it feels like this isn't going to last, right? And maybe there's some validity now to that feeling. Is that like, what if they yanked the models all of a sudden and everyone had to code the old-fashioned way now? And well, you could use your own local models and open source stuff, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be as good as the latest, Opus 4.7, Opus 4.8.
Or just
and
put
so on.
hard, democratic token restrictions, like a speed limit, right?
Yeah. I had another...
Here's something I was comparing it to, and you tell me if this analogy is right or wrong. I was talking to somebody else, but you remember, and I'm going to go culture on you, Lauren, so put your seatbelt on. Do you remember Deadliest Catch, the commercial
I
crab
love that
fisherman?
show, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Alaska
Yes.
white snow crab or whatever.
Yeah, the crab fisherman. The crab fishing season used to be a window of time, and it was like, catch all the crab you can. And so they would go around the clock, like catching crab, nonstop. And of course, people would die or lose arms or legs or, because it was fast and dangerous. And then eventually what they did is they extended the window and then gave them a quota. So it turned into more of like a normal, let's go out and get X amount and we'll hit our quota halfway through the period or whatever.
So they started measuring the crab really carefully.
Well, they give them a quota. You can't
Yeah.
catch more than
Yeah.
100,000 pounds or whatever it was.
Is that show still around?
I
mean,
think
it's
so.
been a long time, so.
But my point is with AI, like it feels like we have been in that free-for-all kind of period
Interesting.
of crab fishing.
We've been in the deadliest catch thing where use as much tokens and write as much code.
Yes.
There's no harm to like coding up a new tool or a new website.
Yeah, just go crazy.
Yeah.
And
All
the
gas,
government just set a
all gas, no
precedent.
brakes, and now they're going to go. Well, now you're only going to be able to do that between these periods of time, and you'll only be able to do it this much.
Well, they
Yeah.
already put peak hours like old phones and stuff with stuff. So they start there. They start curbing you back. I don't know.
Okay, predictions. When is it coming back?
I think it's going to be a while. I think they're going to leave it off. I think even the beginning of July is too early. A lot of people think it's sooner. I'm going to go with probably August. or some new version. I'm
I'm going to do like the
the.
Price is Right. I'm going to pick the furthest date out, like plus a day.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do August 1st.
I think that they might put KYC, right? It wouldn't be inconsistent with
Okay.
their thought process
Okay,
to put KYC on
Speak
there.
English.
Know your customer. So banking regulations. So if you log in, you can't go to a bank and open a bank account without identifying yourself.
Right.
Taking a picture of your
And
card.
taking a picture of your card and uploading documents and so forth. So if you want to prove that you're a U.S. citizen, that you can use Fable 5, you might just have to submit your passport.
So when does that happen? Do you think
When?
That would count
That
as
could happen as early as 2 weeks from now.
so? July.
So end of June, really. I mean, I think they're eager to get it back
Pick
alive.
a number. Pick a day.
I didn't write this down. What did you say, Shane?
August 1st.
August 1st.
I'll say June 30th. Price is right here. There's no benefit in saying June 30th. When you say July 1st, I would
No,
definitely lose on
you
Price
do-
is Right.
I am going to say December
Wow.
No.
That's way
no,
too far out.
at the earliest.
no.
And let me tell you why. I think because I know that this is likely to be of some disagreement, but I think the public is kind of AI'd out at the moment. It's overexposed. It's confusing. It scares the hell out of a lot of people. And I think with a national midterm election coming up, AI is going to be on the menu. And I think the popular move right now is for them to put a leash on these guys. So
Unlimited regulation. I thought that was to the end of Trump's term.
So I think that I think a different possibility is that they
by the way, I like Dario's idea.
rename the model or like call it Opus 4.9, but it's really like a Fable class model.
Hope
Right,
it's
and
fine.
Yeah,
I
that
know.
doesn't count. We're talking about Fable 5.
But what
I'm just saying that right now public sentiment is against AI, I think in general.
no. Not their end users. Their end users are not public sentiment.
Okay.
I think okay.
Their end users. This is a company that
I'm saying more
have they
registered-
filed to go public, or
Do
are
they
in the-
have
in
their
the
IPO
process?
release date yet? Because that would change.
More registered voters are against AI right now and are all for curtailing
No,
some AI
no.
than not.
Registered voters,
Registered voters.
just your mail-in voters, apparently.
Oh, good God.
I think the KYC is a real thing. Okay, so when they release, here's a question, kind of across the board: a yes or no. When they release Fable again, assuming they do, is it released only to U.S. citizens?
Yes.
Phil,
Wait a minute. That's that.
if they when they re-release Fable, is it only released to U.S. citizens?
That is an interesting question. I'm going to say probably not. I'll go no.
Well, they don't have to overturn the ban and the export controls, and they can release it.
It's the quickest way to get it back.
I mean, there's vendors. I've used them before. I've implemented KYC at a company before, like 3 years ago. Like Persona, I think, is one that comes to mind. So it doesn't take a lot of effort. You could get your Claude code to be like, I need KYC. Bing.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
I'm with Phil on this one. So that's a yes, no, no.
Yes or no?
Thanks.
I think because Anthropic does see themselves as some sort of world,
I think that's why.
some international kind of project.
So they would basically say, we're not going to make this available to the users because we have high and mighty ideals. We think it's wrong that they're eliminated. They're
Cutting off the rest of the world.
That and a certain percentage of their workforce as well.
Yeah, major members of these platforms. are
Big
gonna
members
be
of the
cut off.
team would not be on the team anymore.
This is true.
they hired
And you know where those
Andre-
people will go? They will go home.
they'll go work for
and
other.
develop their AI there.
I mean, I just have this great fictional story that's 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, 25 years after this crazy story unfolds of everybody's own AI systems because of this moment. So good. It looks really interesting.
Oh, it's cooking. Okay, so that's it. So we've got our predictions. I think we covered just about everything about Anthropic.
Too much.
And then we know who Michael
Yeah, and that one other guy.
Krastis is.
I've already forgotten.
He's the guy,
He hasn't been fired yet.
There's also
but he's a crypto guy. So
Okay.
there's also the Baba Jibajibaj or whatever his name is.
Oh, the Army intelligence
Gregory
guy.
Barbacia, BARB.
honestly, that's the best news I've heard all day.
ACC.
Is that there's somebody from Army intelligence like keeping an eye on the rest of these morons.
Yeah, who is this
I don't
guy?
know.
I'm all for smart people in the room, and I don't know if we're using our smartest people right now. So, special episode of AI for the Normal Guy. Again,
Every episode is special.
oh, okay, if you want to go that way. You can get AI for the Normal Guy. Look at the jaw on that kid.
He's not an old, though.
You gotta. We're on a podcast. You can't show a picture. And
Well, I can show it to you guys.
I said
there's a
that's why I
guy
s-
in
that's why I
a
said-
suit with a red tie standing next to an American flag.
You guys can look up Gregory Barbacia. However say his name. Barbacia.
You can get AI for the Normal Guy wherever you get your podcasts or content. Again, I'm Philly Barlaza. I'm joined by author Lauren Winsler.
That was a long time ago.
A long time. No, don't say that. You got to keep it in your bio. And then Shane Spencer,
Thanks.
vibe coder extraordinaire, and also coder in residence at Lovable. I'm Philly Barlaza. Thanks for listening.
Before you go, don't forget to follow or like the show so you never miss an episode. You can find AI for the Normal Guy anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you've got questions or ideas for a future episode, send them on X to AI4TNG. We'd love to hear from you.